very, very important that you learn how to manage the fucks that you give daily, and recognize that everybody has not earned your energy, and not everyone should have access to your energy. Why do you feel masculinity in men is so important right now? I mean, look around us, right? We are at a point in time where I believe that our women show more heart than we do. And it's not all men. So some were fortunate enough to have the skills, the training of masculinity involved in them, you know what I'm saying, that still respects a woman, but at the same time lets her know that she's with a man. You know, that type of feeling, where she feels safe, protected, but not to the point where she feels like she's not heard, not valued, or, you know what I'm saying, like a male chauvinist type shit, right? Caveman, caveman type shit. But it's imperative because leadership. And that's why, you guys know my thoughts on the whole point of being with a man is for leadership. Because, I mean, if for a woman to be with a man and she's leading, she can do that by herself. You know what I'm saying? Like, she doesn't need another child or a child to be on her roster, if you will, you know what I mean? But it's so imperative because if you look around us, the way that our men get very emotional, you know what I'm saying? And don't get me wrong, like mental health, I'm a firm believer behind mental health, as you all may know. However, we have to have emotional intelligence, which is also a part of mental health, and that is controlling our emotions, the way we respond in anger a lot of times. But don't get me wrong, there's some women that definitely know how to test you. I mean, women are gonna test you regardless, indirectly and directly. I mean, it's just the nature of a woman, and you have to understand that. And if you're not able to understand that, then I don't know what to tell you. I mean, I know for sure with me, I've gone through my fair share of shit tests with women throughout my life, and that is through mother, daughter, other female family members, ex-girlfriends, women that you dated, friends, all this shit. You know what I'm saying? And it's something that is done indirectly, but it's like I believe it's something that's just in our DNA. And especially for that of a woman to verify that you can calm the storm, if you, in so many words, you know what I'm saying, being able to calm the storm that comes with a woman's emotions or a person's emotions. Because let's not even put it on solely on women. I mean, you got kids will test you too, and just being able to control those emotions. Because I mean, how fair is it to a woman who tends to be, the nurturer and dealing with the kids all by herself while the husband is, I don't know, doing something where she does not feel that he's in on this, right? And that's where the leadership comes in. That's where being able to teach a child how to deal with their emotions comes in. That's what is necessary. That is what we bring to the family and to the family dynamic of being a masculine man. Is where we teach our children, we teach our wives, we teach ourselves how to be calm, in dealing with one's emotions. Like being able to express one's emotions, but not responding emotionally, if that makes sense. So, like, I mean, it changes everything to have to be for us men, really, to be masculine, and also creating a society that enables us to be masculine again. I mean, I believe we live in a society right now that punishes a lot of men for being, alpha, masculine, whatever it may be. You know what I'm saying? And it's going to bite us in the ass someday. So, I mean, if you're able to still hone in to those skills, fellas out there, or even if you're learning this for the first time, and I'm still learning how to be masculine daily, learning different tips, tricks, all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Learning from mistakes, not being perfect, seeing how can I go about this doing better. But the objective is still the same. The objective is to be a leader. The objective is to command, my tribe, whether that's my family, friends, whatever. Having those skills to withstand what comes forth. And the hardest part is emotional intelligence. And that goes through triggers, that goes through shit that you go through at go through at work, go through, on a drive to work. Being able to manage the fucks you give daily is so imperative. It's very, very important that you learn how to manage the fucks that you give daily, and recognize that everybody has not earned your energy, and not everyone should have access to your energy. Same goes for women too. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody should not have access to your energy that you're able to bring. You know what I'm saying? Because again, you'll be dead tired mentally by the end of the day trying to be there for every damn body. You're gonna have to realize what's priority for you. And that's what I mean by for you. You have to think about you. Doesn't mean that you're not there for others, but you have to prioritize you and make sure that you take care of you, because if you don't have any of you left, what the fuck are you going to give? You know what I'm saying? So harping back on masculinity, why it's so important right now. Because I believe that our women are tired. You know what I'm saying? Like, men want to lead. There's some men that actually want to lead, and they were dating women that would not allow them to lead, and which I feel is a lost cause at that point. Honestly, it wouldn't even, for me, I wouldn't even entertain a woman that doesn't allow a man to lead. She can be her own man by her damn self. And that's fine. Don't get me wrong. Like I said, there's something for everybody. Someone for everybody. There's something for everybody. So, but for our men, we gotta step up. We gotta step up more. We gotta come together. We gotta build tribes. We gotta have masculine retreats where we come together and bounce ideas off as men and recognize what it means to be red pill and not blue pill, and the aspect of dating and engaging with women. And if you don't know about red pill and blue pill, I suggest you YouTube or Google what that is, fellas. But the time has come. We've been called upon by our ancestors, forefathers, the universe, God, for us to step up to be men, for us to lead, for us to be masculine, for us to be protective, for us to show respect, for us to take charge. You know what I'm saying? Like, for us to hold ourselves accountable, for that matter. Admit your faults and stand on them. You know what I'm saying? Have values. That's another thing. Another big part of masculinity is having values and standing by them. Holding your masculine frame. I'm not telling you to not show any emotion whatsoever to women. But what I am saying is hold your motherfucking frame. It is very, very important that we do this for a lot of reasons. And number one reason is showing that we can be reliable. and showing that we can be protectors, we can be strong. It doesn't mean that we don't have weak moments, and that's what your friends are for. You know what I'm saying? That's why you have a support group, which went within that masculine tribe of men to come together and bounce off ideas, or therapy. You know what I mean? Therapy also, therapy definitely helps. It definitely helps me. As I'll have my weak moments. I'll have little Rome that wants to drive the fucking car sometimes, when adult Rome is like, nigga, I got this, bruh. You know what I mean? And, but masculinity, it is something that is missing. I believe it's missing. I'm sure women out there can attest to it. They can agree to it. They're tired of having to pull the weight. This is not an attack on my men, because I love my brothers. I love my kings. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just saying that just America in general, we're a lot. Our men have gotten softer, and it's gonna come a time where that goes away again, and our men are going to be hardened. You know, hard times create strong men create good times create weak men, and weak men create hard times, right? So we're at the point where weak men create hard times, so it's only right that it's going to go into the hard times creating strong men, and that'll come with time. It happens every 80 years. And there's statistics to back this up. But we got some work to do. We have work to do. Ladies have work to do. I want to commend every woman for strength that you have. Me telling men to be strong does not mean that you have to be weak, or that you've been weak or anything like that, or there's anything wrong with a woman having strength. What we're talking about here is that it's not fair to have that load all put on our women. You know what I'm saying? It's a teamwork. We should be complimenting each other's lives, not complicating. So if I'm in a relationship and the woman does everything, I'm talking about everything: cook, clean, take care of kids, go to work, on top of all that shit, by the time you come home, you're drained, you're done, you know, you're resentful towards the man that you have. You're like, why do I even have him? What do you do? Or Janet Jackson, what have you done for me lately? Like, you know what I'm saying? But knowing that you have tools, building skills, becoming a better person, and applying that to your relationships, your friendships with the opposite sex, you know what I'm saying? Like, it makes things so much easier, you know what I'm saying? Like, to build that trust with someone that they can rely upon, that they don't have to think about things, you know what I mean? And that's what we do. That's what I believe a leader does. You know what I mean? So we got work to do. We got work together. Ladies have to, again, ladies, continue to be feminine. Cannot stress that enough. But be feminine, obviously, with a man that you trust to be masculine. I'm not saying don't be masculine in order to find a man worth of masculinity. You're going to attract the wrong thing. You're going to attract the feminine man. A woman that operates at her masculine energy is going to attract the feminine man. Look at your friends, look at yourselves. When you operate in your masculine, what type of man did you end up with? Polarity. It's polarity. There's no way of getting around this, okay? Polarity. So if you're operating in your masculine energy, you're going to attract the feminine man. If you are operating in your feminine energy, you are going to attract the masculine man. But you gotta be willing to trust. And trust is a motherfucker for everybody. Trust enough, you know what I mean? Like, don't say trust anybody 100%. You know, I don't believe that to be wise. Just enough. So, if we can do that, I believe our society will move just a hell of a lot better. Like us leading, you know, being able to take charge, being able to know how to do things, to do our part to help out the dynamic of whatever it is, whether you're married, whether you live with your girlfriend, live with your boyfriend, whatever it is, you know what I'm saying? Like we got to step up, and we will. That's for sure. If I can help it with whatever knowledge that I obtain, again, knowledge is forever changing with me. So whatever I learn about masculinity, I'm going to share that to my brothers that, that watch the show. And for all the ladies who are in relationships that watch the show, definitely ensure that you share that with your mate and let them know it's not an attack. It's a call to action, because that's where we are right now. It's time for a call to action. It's time for us to step up, and we got a lot of work to do. I'll say that. Just off of how we were raised. Some of us were raised by single mothers. Some of us were raised by two parents, but majority the mother did everything. So you're gonna pick up the traits in which the person that you dealt with the most, that you came into close contact with, and that is our mother. And a woman cannot teach you how to be a man. So we have to get around other masculine male role models, other masculine figures, and we have to learn. We have to learn how to be more masculine so that we can lead our women and we can allow them to operate in their feminine essence as God intended for them to do. And anyway, yeah, it's very real right now. So I am calling out to my fellow kings. It's time. It's time for us to take back, masculinity. It's time for us to be men, instead of boys. We're done with being undeveloped men. We're tired of being boys. We're ready to be men. We're prepared to be kings. Let's get it. What advice can you give for somebody married to someone with depression? Okay, I have never been married, and I'm not even sure about marriage these days, to be honest, but I do know a little bit about living with depression. I was in a relationship. I was in two relationships, one knowingly and one unknowingly with depression. I will tell you this advice, the best of my ability, as far as like how to deal with it. You have to starve it. It's one thing. The more you feed into the notion that I have anxiety, I have depression, or anything, it grows. You know what I'm saying? That's fear. Fear, you have to starve your fears, as hard as it may be. And granted, depression can be, chemical and like biochemical in the brain and shit like that. So I'm not saying like it's just an easy thing. You just have to starve it. But depending on your condition of having depression, I would, like, if it's to the point where if it's something that you just think about, do your best to replace those thoughts. You change your life by changing your mind. That is one of the biggest things that I'm sure anyone involved in mental health, involved in psychology, involved in motivational speaking, they will tell you. If you change your mind, you will change your life. Guard the door of your mind daily. Jim Rohn quote. You must stand at the door of your mind daily and watch the thoughts that come in there. You have to ensure that you're filtering your thoughts, because we are not our thoughts. And if we get negative thoughts, so many negative thoughts can push us in a daze, in a trance that can really lead us down the lines of depression. But being there helps. If it means not saying anything, find out if that individual never received enough love at home and childhood. Because at this point you're with them, obviously you're married to them. But I will say that just being there is very, very, it's important. and hopefully appreciated. Just being there. Sometimes you just gotta ride that shit out though. I recommend taking medication as well. I mean, I know that I take hydroxyzines from time to time whenever shit gets, out of, haywire or whatever inside my head, and I just lose my shit, So I gotta reverse it, hit reset, if you will. And the can't get it out. Hydroxyzine, it allows me to not think. And what also allows me to not think is meditation. So I definitely recommend meditation, but certainly the gym. Like for those of us who have those of us who suffer from depression, anxiety, or whatever, what you have to do is replace your mood. You have to replace your dopamine and how you get, you know what I'm saying, like your rewards. If you're like me, who suffered from porn addiction for so many years, like once you've done all you need to do, jerking and shit for hours on end at a time, your dopamine levels go below your own balance. You know what I'm saying? So you're like sluggish, you're down, there's shame on you. Like you feel so many different feelings when you suffer from an addiction like that of porn. But I mean, who knows what this individual's depression may even come from. But the gym, I recommend getting into a solid gym regimen for anyone that's dealing with depression, because there is a natural reward that your body gets, and like what do they call them shits? There's like fucking feel good shit that comes out of your body, the feel good chemicals that come out of your body once you work out. I mean, I work out consistently 4 days a week, not just for the look, but more like for how I feel when I'm done, because my head, like I could have the worst day ever, but for 2 hours and sometimes 2.5 hours in the dungeon, when I'm finished, like all of that negative shit is gone. Same thing, being in nature, walking in nature, going for a walk is helpful as well for somebody that is dealing with said depression. The beach, I would recommend going to the beach and just sitting in there, closing my eyes until I have no thoughts at all, if I can help it. The energy, the ocean, she takes all negative energy away. Same thing with hugs. So, I mean, a person with depression, hug them a lot. Hug them until they let go. That's what you do. When you hug somebody, you hug them until they let go. Because you never know what they need, especially with our kids. Hug them until they let go is something that I would incorporate, and recommend to just everybody, not just for kids, not for our kids, family, whatever, just everyone. Well, not in business, you know what I'm saying? Don't be hugging your damn boss that damn long. I don't even know why you're hugging them anyway. But depression is very much a real thing, and it's heightened even more because of social media and the act of comparing, and then having a phone that puts off blue light. You're staring at screens. Like we're not supposed to be staring at screens as much as we do. If you look at ourselves the way we carried ourselves before the iPhone was released, we lived in the moment a hell of a lot more. We weren't always trying to take pictures at damn dinner when we went to Dave & Buster's. Everybody's trying to take a damn selfie just so they can post and look like they're enjoying themselves when they really do hate themselves, and not everybody. Some people actually are in a good space and they're able to incorporate social media in a healthy manner. But there are a lot of us who suffer from our own insecurities and seeing other people enjoy life, it reminds us of what we don't have, and we forget to be grateful for what we do have. So we tend to just feel bad, and it eats at us. I know I've definitely been guilty of it throughout my life, while being on social media, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, seeing things and like, man, I wish I was home in Miami. I wish I was home in Virginia. I wish I was, in Fort Walton Beach, wherever, you know what I'm saying? And instead of learning to appreciate what's in the present moment. And that's another thing that I would recommend for someone that's dealing with depression is learn to value the present moment and those around you and while you're still here. See, the thing is that I believe, and Ayanla said this on Fix My Life to one of the guys that was up there, it was like, you don't want to die, you're just tired of hurting. And I'm sure we all can relate to that. We don't want to die, but dying sometimes wanting to die feels like it'll take the pain away. So you really just don't want to hurt anymore versus trying to, claim you're going to kill yourself, pushing further and further towards that. You just don't want to feel pain anymore. And the only way to go through pain is to get through pain. You know what I'm saying? So we have to endure and not use something to run from our problems, if you will. We got to face them as hard as it may be. Go through the discomfort. Courage, Courage over comfort, right? Brene Brown quote. And be sure to check out Brene Brown's Atlas of the Heart series on HBO Max. Like, I feel like that's something that we all should check out and just see ourselves. What I love about, Brene Brown, Jay Shetty, Jordan Peterson, Les Brown, Jim Rohn, all these guys, Tony Robbins, and what they allow me to do is to see myself, not just through them, but in other people, like everyone, and then realizing that we are interbeing. All of us are the same. We're one and the same. So if I ever talk about somebody, I'm talking about myself. You know what I mean? I'm pointing out something that I don't like about myself, which is, it's crazy when you think about it, right? Anything that you don't like in someone is something about you that you don't like about yourself. And when you sit and look at it, because if you didn't bother, because if it didn't bother you, it wouldn't bother you. You know what I mean? Like if they did something and it didn't bother you, you have no issues with it. But there's something there. Not sure what it is, but there's something there. But depression is very real. Use any 800 number that'll help. You know what I'm saying? There's Talkspace, there's other apps, there's different websites that you can do to find tips, to talk to people who may relate to what you're going through. And of course, talking with your friends, your support. You're having a healthy support system in today's age is such a blessing. It's it's something to be grateful for. That, like, if you do have people that you can genuinely open to and vent to, because it's not, some of us don't have that. We really don't have that. And there's a lot of people suffering in silence. So trying to be the voice, trying to help people find their voice is the business that I'm in. And I'm hoping that watching this clip, watching this episode, watching this show period, enables people to have a voice and create a conversation within themselves that they can then speak out about it in order to better themselves. But for anyone watching this that is going through depression and anxiety, you are not alone. And understand it's all right to go through shit. Just know that you're not going through it alone. We're going to walk with you. You know what I mean? We don't know what it's like to be in your shoes, but we can walk with you. You know what I mean? And I think that's how I'm going to end that. Yeah. So, what keeps me in the past in my mind? Perfection. Perfection. Things from fears from childhood. What else? Feeling like you need love when you are loved, which is crazy, right? A plethora of different things that haunt me sometimes can keep you in the past, and I know I'm not the only one. And it's trying to fix shit that's not treatable. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're never going to change the past. Like, the best days are not behind you, they're ahead of you. So trying to go back and relive some shit and trying to, right the wrong, if you will, you're fucking with time. And here's what I believe is why, even though I'm the one that's doing the shit from time to time. If you change one thing, you change everything. You don't get you today without the shit that you went through yesterday. And it's a struggle. It's very much a struggle, but especially like parenting, right? And I was a young parent, very, very, very young parent. You know what I mean? 18 years old. I was 18 with a kid. And truth be told, I didn't learn of my kid, officially until I was 19. So she was living for a whole year. And those are crucial years to be around a child, you know what I'm saying? To develop that nurturing and all that stuff. So once I heard about it and I learned that, I possibly could have a daughter, it scared the shit out of me, right? And I immediately became this perfect person because I felt like that's what my daughter should have. My kid should have the perfect parent. And I'm just going, while I'm at it, let me just try to be perfect in all aspects of my life. And then maybe I'll get love the way that I've always wanted. You know what I'm saying? You hear the fantasy talk, right? And Disneyland. you make up all these reasons as to why you should be perfect. And sometimes it can rub people the wrong way. So what's more, appreciative, accepting, is for a person to show their flaws, right? And I couldn't grasp that concept. I felt like if I made a mistake, I wouldn't be loved. And I lived my life that way for a very, very long time. I'm still going through the shit somewhat, It makes you think. It really does. It makes you think. So having the situation go the way that it did, a few things that happened in, adolescent years, trying to be perfect just to be seen, trying to be perfect just to be loved. And if you made a mistake and somebody harped on you about it, got a family that if you make a mistake, we tearing in your ass. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it'd be just the most little thing or whatever. You mess up a word, we'll run that word into the ground. Some of me and my Air Force brothers, we do that shit too. We'll be in our group text, we'll be pretty much like waiting for somebody to fuck up. You know how Siri thinks she know what the fuck you want to say, and then you press send real fast and it'll be like some word will be all fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Instead of dick, it'd be duck, or some shit like that. Or any, I'm saying just any word. But perfection is something that really caused a lot of self-sabotage on my part. And that's where accountability comes in. And you are exactly where you are in your life because of you. Nobody else is responsible for your life but you. that's when you know you become an adult. If you're still blaming your mom and your dad for why you don't have shit, you're still blaming your family, your cousin, whoever, you know, sisters, brothers, your co-workers and all that stuff, what are you gonna do? Don't wish life were easier. Wish you were better. Jim Rohn quote. I've been on both sides of the track. I've been in a place where I blamed everyone for where I was in life, for how my relationship was with my kid, for where I was at that point in time in my life financially, and just life in general. You know, it was everybody's fault but my own. And that is a clear sign of ego. And ego will sneak up like with quickness into your life if you let it. If you're not guarding the doors of your mind, the ego will find its way in and it'll have its way. It'll have you feeling like the world is on top of you or you're on top of the world. And the past is filled with a lot of decisions that you might not be so proud of, but you did the best you could with the knowledge you had at that time. And forgiveness is key. And learning to forgive yourself is probably one of the biggest challenges that one can face, especially me. I'm not saying especially me, but me. Of the things that I felt like I did and throughout my life. And that even heightened the perfectionism to a degree that I was not able to live up to. And it caused a lot of anxiety. It caused a lot of panic attacks. It caused a lot of just feeling unworthy of love. I wasn't loving myself unconditionally. And once you train your brain to be a certain way for a certain amount of time, it's autopilot. And you keep falling back into the same brain patterns. And if you let it, it'll pull you in. It'll have you depressed in bed, wishing you would have made better decisions for yourself. And you're just human. You were meant to face that pain of what you did one time. And you're supposed to move on. But when you keep peeling back the fucking Band-Aid, you keep reliving it. And some of us have yet to forgive ourselves. And until we forgive ourselves, we won't be able to forgive anyone else. You know what I mean? It's very big. You can only love me as far as you love yourself. So listening to people tell you that they love you when they don't, when they show you that they don't love themselves, it's questionable. You know what I'm saying? And it's learning to love yourself more daily that's going to help with that. And the more you learn to love yourself, the more you learn to love others and see that we're all human. Go through shit. We experience trauma and we go through pain, and people operate out of pain. Pain fills up so much that it has to be projected outward, and that's why people do what they do a lot of times. And we have to forgive them for what they do not know. You don't need to tolerate anything from them, but we must forgive them for our own sanity. Holding grudges only hurts you. Holding in, waiting for somebody to feel the same pain as you, as you can be waiting forever. And because you're anticipating a certain result. But if that person really doesn't give a fuck, it doesn't matter. You're holding in that pain and you're only hurting yourself. And so it's best to just learn to forgive. And that is a daily mission. Learning to forgive yourself. Forgive yourself, forgive others, and moving on. Not living in the past. Staying forward, not looking behind you. It drains you. You know what I mean? To look behind you. So, like I said, perfectionism trauma. Um, what else keeps me in the past? Again, just decision making, really decision making, and not being and feeling like you were loved conditionally. Because if I felt like I was loved unconditionally, you know what I'm saying, by the individuals that I wanted specific love from, then I wouldn't be so hard. I wouldn't have been so hard on myself, right? That's what I felt. I felt like because I felt like I needed love. When I am full of love, I am love. You know what I'm saying? When you see what you're seeing right now is love, and sometimes you don't know that. Little Rome, your wounded inner child does not know that he or she is loved. Is love. You know what I'm saying? And that's where you come in. That's where you have to apply new teachings, unlearn things that you were taught years and years ago and kept that in your brain patterns for so long. But now we're at a place of healing. We are healing. We're healing together, because I'm sure a lot of us can relate to those feelings. And so here we are, humans, trying to figure this shit out, trying to live a better life, trying not to think about the past, trying to get over the past so we can live in the future, trying not to have depression, trying not to have anxiety. And truthfully, we win by starving our addiction, starving the idea that we have anxiety, starving the idea that we have depression, starving like something is wrong with us, when we're not. We're fine just the way we are. We're not broken. We're not incomplete. We are simply love. Every last one of us has love. And sure, we have pain, but the way you get over pain is through love. Love, as cliche as it sounds, love conquers all. You know what I mean? And it's learning to love yourself. If you can do that, you can withstand just about anything. I believe that's one of our biggest challenges, is learning to love ourselves. So, before I close out, I would like to spread love. Spread love to anyone watching this. Spread love and wisdom and knowledge and the idea that you can do whatever you set your mind to. If you put your mind to it, you can change your life. Yes, you can change your life. You have to believe. You have to see it in your vision, and then you have to see it through. It's weird how God and the universe works, but if you trust him, if you trust it, the universe, you'd be surprised the stuff that happens, how things align the way that it does. I'm grateful. I'm grateful for a lot of things, but truly grateful that I got my kid, Like, my kid is truly my inspiration. That is my greatest inspiration. There are times where I don't feel like I can go on much further, but the idea of leaving that individual, that beautiful soul here without a question as to why, I'm not able to bring myself to do it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like pushing forward. Like, Eric Thomas has a dope quote: "Don't cry to quit, cry to continue, cry to keep going, cry to keep moving forward." You know what I mean? And you're gonna go through some shit, suffering. There's no getting to success without suffering. You have to suffer, but that's where the lesson is. That's where the inspiration comes from. It's all about how you bounce back, how you get up. You know what I'm saying? When life knocks you down. And life is gonna knock us the fuck down. So, wish and love, push through whatever you're going through. You know what I'm saying? Definitely reach out to your support groups or support systems, and spread love and learn to love unconditionally.